All right, Josh Bailey, how you doing with this fresh trim?
Yeah, oh mate, loving it. I'm absolutely great, thank you, especially after that win.
All right, 4-1. Good feeling, huh? We've got that winning feeling back now. 3 wins in a row.
Yeah, it's just so important. It doesn't matter kind of how the wins come across, just as long as they're like there and just momentum, especially when all the other teams around us are like stuttering. It's just whoever can get a few wins together, and like you can see, we're now sixth, only 2 points off fourth. We're so close. You know, the club was in crisis a few weeks ago, and now we're only 2 points off fourth.
Yeah, there we go. Yeah, a lot can change in like the space of like 2 or 3 games, and like we're right up there, looking like we could challenge for top 4 like, out of nowhere. I mean, things were looking pretty grim. I mean, I was even worried Arsenal might catch us, but now we can actually look up, and we've got half a chance now, haven't we?
Yeah, especially if Everton, and I think the key thing will be if Everton Chelsea, if they drop points, because they're playing each other tomorrow. So if they can draw, like, which would be an ideal result for us, we're looking very close. You know, if we've had a few good games now, and then we've got Arsenal next week, big one, and then we've got Villa, then Newcastle as well, and then we've got Everton and Manchester United. So it's more than doable. You know, they're winnable games, especially Arsenal as well.
Yeah, so we batter Arsenal. That would be good.
Yeah, at the Emirates.
Yeah, Josh. All right, so let's talk about today's game. I sadly only caught the last half an hour because I had family commitments. But do you want to fill us in on the game and how did everyone look and who your favourite players were? And
I think you've got to start off with 2 players, with Moura and Reguilon today. I think Moura was very good. He's playing in the middle now. Like, he's not less so out wide. He's playing in the middle, and he's doing really well there. Like, the energy he brings is just second to none. And it's just the constant pressing and running and just driving at defenders. I think we complain about Moura a lot when he kind of, he just constantly runs at the ball and kind of runs at defenders. But when he's in the middle, he causes a lot of problems. He makes defenses uncomfortable. And especially today, I mean, the first goal came about because of his pressing. When he dispossessed the player and it landed straight to Kane, and it was a tap in for Bale. But that all came because of Moura. And Reguilon as well. He makes such a difference. I don't think it's any coincidence that our bad form came from the fact that Reguilon was out. I think there is a correlation there. And like when he plays, like he played against Burnley and we scored 4. Then we take him out against Fulham and we struggle, and then we put him back in now and we score 4 again. He just had so much, like, he's just pace and he's just attacking flair on that left. He just had so much to the team, and it's amazing having him in. So they're the 2 standout players from today. And but again, it's the defense as well. Like, the defense always has those issues. And throughout a game, you always know the team are going to create chances. And I'm not going to say we looked like really shaky and we looked vulnerable for the first 45 minutes before the goal, but there were flashes. And especially in the midfield, I don't know whether it happens a lot, but more so like when Winks plays. There's a lot more space between the midfield and defense. And a lot of teams kind of exploit that. And it happened again, like on the counter especially. A lot of teams were just picking up the space between the midfield and the defence and exploiting that and able to run. And again, but they weren't really, Crystal Palace weren't creating like clear-cut chances. We were like comfortable in that sense. And it's just just concentration again. It just went. And it was so annoying watching Benteke going between Alderweireld and Sanchez. That shouldn't happen. That he shouldn't be able to go through them so easily and pick up the mid. Someone should pick him up. But again, it just happened like that. And yeah, it was just annoying watching that goal. But it was well responded. We responded really well, though. Really, really well. We were 1-0 and you're like, oh, not again. Not again. We've been comfortable and it's happened again. But we responded really well. It was a really Kane again. Phenomenal. We just come to expect it from him, don't we, really? Like, we just come to expect that performance week in, week out. And he was causing such a nuisance. He got 2 assists today. And yeah, it was the ball came in. He headed it down to Bale, and Gareth Bale. What can you say? It's just so good to have him back on that form and back just fit and firing again.
Was everyone looking sharp today, or do you just think that Palace was sort of sitting off and then it was allowing our players to look good, or do you think they really were like top of their game?
I don't know I think we looked tired against Fulham. I think everyone was sort of saying how like everyone was sort of really worried and anxious about when we were playing against Fulham, the fact the performance wasn't up there, but we did look tired. And I think Crystal Palace, they're going to sit back and they're going to allow us to play. But it's very frustrating of playing against Crystal Palace. It's never really an easy game. They don't give you a lot. You've got to really work hard to create chances. And I thought the way we did that, especially in the second half, was really good. And the movement, like the energy from Moore, the movement from Kane and Son and Bale, kind of that 4, which is looking really strong at the moment. They did really well. And I mean, Kane's third was phenomenal. Did you catch Kane's third?
I saw that one. Yeah, I saw that. Yeah,
Lamela,
that was. Just... I thought Lamela when he came on, he adds a different dimension, doesn't he? He really goes at teams, and he's a little bit of a nuisance for teams.
He's when you watch Lamela play, he's so frustrating because I think if he could have a really good final third, like if he could have that final pass and look up, I think he'd be not really, he'd be a decent player, but he doesn't. And like you watch him so many times, he get past the play, and you're like, yes, and he's causing a nuisance, and you're like, he's doing it, and then he just doesn't pass, and you're like, oh, it's so frustrating. But today he came on really well, and actually throughout this season, when he's come on as a substitute, he's done really well. And he has caused like a nuisance for the players, and he's got us over the line through like energy and pressing, a bit like Moura. And on the I think it was the fourth, wasn't it? It was a lovely pass to Son, and Son was selfless enough to pass to Kane. But no, Lamela played really well when he came on. But he's done that a lot this season, actually. You know, I think we've come to expect that from him.
I think he's a good impact sub to bring on just to sort of see out games, because he just sort of like he scares the living daylights out of the opposition and keeps them penned in. I think Moura does that well as well. And I'm going to be honest, I'm a Moura sexual.
Okay, all right.
Moura gets a lot of heat, and people say that his end product's not good. But I love the way that he runs. He just takes risks and he commits himself. I love that about Moura.
And he does that really well, and he's always done that well. And I think when a player, especially he's been at the club, 3-4 years now? How long?
Yeah,
something like
4 years.
Yeah, when a player does that and like he does that week in, week out, I think you kind of become numb to it as fans, and then you start like kind of wanting a bit more. Yeah, and you do want more from him in the final third. You know, you know his final product needs to be better. But I feel like watching him today, and especially in the middle, like when he's in really good form, he's a very good player. He's a very, very good player. And I think he's a bit of a confidence player as well. And but in that middle, he has been fantastic. And I know some people might not agree with me, but I play him ahead of Dele Alli right now. I think he deserves to be playing. Like we looked a completely different team. I know Dele Alli played decently against Fulham. But for the sake of the whole team, Lucas Moura, we look a lot better with Lucas Moura in the middle. Like you said, just with the energy and just how annoying he is for defenders when you're running at him. I feel like in the middle is probably his best spot.
I agree. And not only that, when he picks up the ball, what I notice with Moura is that if he has the opportunity to go forwards, he'll go forwards. He won't just go backwards or sideways for the sake of it. He'll only do that if he's under total pressure, which means that he'll generally always err on the side of positivity on the ball, I find.
Which is
of course, you might give the ball away, but I feel like he takes the right proportion of risks compared to caution, I think.
Which is what we need, because I think the complaint was when we were in our worst form was we wasn't, especially when we're sitting back and on the counter attack, we're just passing backwards for the sake of it. We didn't have the confidence to go forward. And I think, like you said, Moura does. There's never a moment where Moura doesn't drive forward with the ball. Yeah. He will always look to go forward, where maybe someone like Dele Alli will pass backwards, and someone against Crystal Palace, you don't need that. That's not what you want. That's what they want you to do. They want you to pass back. They can deal with that. But what they can't deal with is when you pick the ball up on the half turn and run at them, and that makes them uncomfortable. You know, and he deserves to be starting at the moment just because of how well he's playing. The fact, just what he gives us. He's just amazing. He was really good today. Behind Harry Kane, he deserved to be man of the match.
Yeah. I mean, like even my mate Simon, who's like he hates Moura. Even he said man of the match. It's like, whoa, okay.
Yeah. You know, when someone who hates like a player says man of the match, you know they've played.
Yeah, then you know he's done a good job. Also, Josh, how do you like this? So Harry Kane and Heung-min Son have now combined for more goals in a single season than any other duo in Premier League history. How about that?
It was going to happen at one point, wasn't it? I think it was gonna happen at one point. I think it was good for Son today because Son hasn't been as in a good form. I think his bad form's kind of gone on the radar a bit.
Yeah.
And I think he's kind of, you know, especially I think because he has such an amazing start, the scintillating start to the season. I think he's kind of dropped off a bit, and that's gone on the radar. But his movement today was really good, and his assist for the game was amazing. But no, that was going to happen though, wasn't it? They are just
it's going to happen. Yeah, but it was nice they finally did it today. And like you're right. I mean, I've been saying for the last 4 or 5 games that Son's look a little bit tired. He hasn't had quick feet. He hasn't been as aggressive, but he's still got the quality there. So you know he's always going to pull it round. And what was his performance like in the first half? Let's say, or like up until the 60th minute.
I think, but what before his assist, he was. I don't know. You didn't really notice him as much. I think that's kind of been the complaint about it is you haven't really been noticing as much. I think Bale's form as well has kind of maybe given him a bit of a break because, you know, Bale's been scoring, which is what we desperately needed.
Yeah.
And I think, Bale picking up with the goals is really good and good for him as well. And I do think because every player has their off games, every player doesn't go through bad patches, but because we rely on him so much, I think when he does hit a bad form, especially this season, it's become stuck out like a sore thumb because we really need his goals. He kind of, like you said, I don't think he's had as much, the energy's missing. And because Son, he's a massive energy player. If he hasn't got that energy, he won't do half as well. But I think his runs were there today. I think he was causing a lot of nuisance with his movement and creating space for like Kane and Bale and Moura. He just needs a goal. He needs to score, and maybe he does need a bit of a break. He's played a lot of games recently, and he's even played in the Europa League as well.
Yeah.
And I think, but the fact that he has been in the team, I think shows how much we rely on him as well. And even when he's not cracking in with the goals and assists, with his run and movement, which creates space for other players around him.
Yeah, one thing that I've noticed with Son that goes under the radar as well, and I totally agree with you on that. I think it has gone a little bit under. I mean, I've been saying it every week, but a lot of people, because he gets the assists, that kind of buries the performance, if you know what I'm saying.
Yeah.
People don't notice the kind of jaded energy levels if he's putting an assist, because people automatically go, he got an assist, automatically good game. But what I saw from the 60th minute onwards when I tuned in is he looked like he was a little bit more twinkle-toed. He was a little bit brighter and a little bit quicker, and he seemed to have got that little bit of mojo back.
Yeah, without a doubt, he did look, like I said, through his runs and stuff and taking on players. He did have a little bit of his mojo, but he just wanted to score a goal. You wanted to be a bit more dangerous. You wanted to really, wanted to hit that form, and hopefully, fingers crossed, it will happen soon. Yeah,
definitely. All right, so let's say before we go, Josh, the Gooners, what are we saying?
Well, next week,
I
think. Well, how many years has it been since we won at the Emirates? Now it would have been Rafa van der Vaart, wasn't it? The comeback 3-2.
I think it's 2010.
2010. So 11.
12,
nearly 11 years. I think we're going to do it. I do think.
Yeah.
I think we're in good form at the moment. They're not. I mean, but they've sort. This is what we'll come to expect now. And I might come back to bite my words, but I think we will with no crowd at the Emirates. I'm hopeful, and I think we will beat them next week.
Yeah, come on then. Yeah, let's do it. All right, come on, you Spurs. All right, cheers, John. Thanks for coming on, mate. Let's have you on again soon. Yeah.
Yeah, that'll be amazing. Thank you very much.
Cheers, mate. Have a good one.
Yeah, bye.